The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for better. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Know me, know the voice on guys, me, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. All right. I'm not a happy camper. Not a happy camper at all. Feel like every time I've gotten up here and I've done one of these single game breakdowns prior to a Knicks game, they've lost. Whether that's true or not, I actually don't know. But my personal feelings is that they lost. And so it makes this so eerie to be up here talking about this today. It's like when you know you're going to die. You're on death row and you're just waiting. Like, you remember Pirates of the Caribbean and that one scene where it began with all the guys on death row and it's like Game of Thrones even. Yeah, when they were on the wall. Like, oh, you just know you're going to die. Like, oh, when they made the what is it, Attack on Titan, when they were charging the Beast Titan, they all knew they were gonna die. Like, this is how it feels. Like, it just feels like this day ends with the Pacers going up 3-1 and all hopes and dreams are dead. I don't want to be here, but I'm here. And we're talking about the New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers. And we had a game yesterday where it was 2-1 and it's now 3-1 between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shout out to SGA, great game. Ant, who doesn't think he had a bad game. Yeah. And also got my co-host here, Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, pretty fun game yesterday. Ended up seeing both of the Timberwolves' best two players no-show the game. Randall didn't score in the second half, and Ant took 2 shots in the entire first half. So, yeah, kind of a weird game because when you hear those stats, you figure, all right, well, because Oklahoma City probably killed them. They did not, because DiVincenzo and Alexander Walker combined for like 44 points, and Minnesota lost anyway. Shea ended up having 49 and 10. He just had a monster game. But J-Dub was great, Chet was great, and the main guys for Oklahoma City showed up. So definitely an entertaining game. Came down to the wire, but Minnesota, it's tough to win when your best two players don't show up and you commit 23 turnovers, and that's what happened. So nice job with the Thunder. Props to Minnesota supporting cast for trying to carry them to a win. And props to the fans sitting courtside to grab the ball with like 0.3 seconds left. But the Thunder found a way to win the game, and now they're up 3-1.
He tried. Hey, you see, he tried to toe tap that joint
did.
over. He tried to toe tap that. Hey, man. I think shout out to the fan for one. For I don't know what help he thought he was doing, but I guess it did kind of give them a chance. Because if he sat down, if he was sitting down, that ball, like, it gets to 0 by the time the ball actually hits out of bounds.
I'm also not sure how 0.3 ended up on the clock when it looked like it was 0.6, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. The pass was horrible anyway afterwards, so it wasn't like that I don't know. They were trying to get it to Rudy, but like it was just a horrible pass. Like it looked like something Daniel Jones threw. So it might have been Daniel Jones in a suit actually. So, but shout out to the Timberwolves bettors who actually won their bet last night.
I think the spread was 3 and they lost by 2. So.
Yeah. Shout out to the Timberwolves. My guy Ski Profit took the Timberwolves plus 3.5 and hit the bet. That sheesh. I wish I took him for the full game instead of the first half. I would have won. All right, Scott. That's enough of that. We've got the main event here, and I'm very much unenthused about it. When I realized, because I woke up and I'm like, wait, am I talking about the Knicks game today? And I just had this disgusting disgusting feeling in my stomach. And I'm like, oh, they're going to lose today, aren't they? Before we talk about that, though, gotta talk to everybody about SGPN. The guys are going to be ripping packs live on air next Monday night. They'll be breaking a case of Panini Prisms with DAPS, and you can get 10% off your favorite team with promo code SGPN. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/break to get in the action. Just ripping packs, man. Ah, dude, shout out to Fred VanVleet, who has a $140,000 NBA Top Shot card. Wow. $140,000 for Fred VanVleet's Top Shot card. I still can't let that one go, Scott.
I don't blame you.
It's crazy. And I mean, at least it's a Fred VanVleet Raptors one, so like, okay, but like it wasn't even the Fred VanVleet Raptors from the championship team. That's 2019. This was 2020. This is Fred VanVleet when he's the guy for the Raptors. Oh man, that's hilarious. But it was against the Knicks, so of course they made it $140,000. All right, one game on the slate. Knicks Pacers game 4 in Indiana. Knicks are catching 2.5. Total is at, did that move? Hold on. Nope, still at 220.5. So last game, the Knicks survived and won.
Mm-hmm. It didn't look good for a while.
You gave Tibbs credit for the coaching. I think it was kind of like the perfect storm that just meshed and ended up with them in a win, because you got the Brunson and Cat split because of foul trouble, and then, you know, they had more defenders around each one. Cat went off, had a big game at the fourth quarter. It was like a perfect storm. Did anything about that game make me feel good about this game as a fan? Probably some fans probably feel great, but me, no. I feel horrible. I think that the game was a pretty good showing for Indiana of, if you just continue to push the pace, don't slow down after you get the lead, continue to put your foot on their throat and push the pace, then it doesn't matter who they throw out there. They're not going to be able to keep up with you. They're not going to be able to slow you down. Indiana started playing out the half court last time, slowed the game down. That's where things got ugly. If you're the Knicks, you want to force them to slow it down again. But there's no room for error here, Scott. No room for error. And then I also have to listen to Reggie Miller talk about this the entire game. I'm very, very, very sad here. Very, very sad about this game. Scott, what do you like in the Pacers in the next game 4?
So just to clarify on my stance towards what happened in Game 3, I said Thibodeau, I thought, did a great job. I will point out that his hand was initially forced, which was the foul trouble that Brunson and Cat had. So I am aware that he didn't have some type of insane moment where he benched one of the two of them because they were not playing well. And Tibbs had this, I'd say, crazy just eureka moment where he decided, I can't play these two together. No, it completely worked out to his benefit, where Brunson was in foul trouble immediately, Cat was in foul trouble immediately, and he had to sit both of them. The reason why I'm giving Tibbs props is twofold. One, he actually tried out a bunch of different guys from the bench. He tried out Shamet, he tried out a bunch of guys. Even if they didn't work, at least he was willing to not use campaign and use everybody else on the on the roster.
Hey, I'll give him that. I will give him that. He did bench campaign for very good reason.
Yeah. So at least he decided, you know what, after playing him fourth quarter minutes in Game 2, I'm never using this guy again. And he tried everyone else. I thought Shamet was fine. McBride was great, but McBride was going to play anyway. They were trying some stuff. DeLon Wright got some minutes, whatever. The other point I'll make is that I thought he did a great job of waiting to bring Brunson back into the game in the fourth quarter, because Cat was on an all-time heater. Cat was on pace for like 34 points halfway through the quarter. And at that point, you're wondering, well, when's he going to bring Brunson back into the game?
Yo.
It was crazy.
Cat was one quarter away from a dangerous rant on this show.
Yeah. He had
Oh,
17
dude.
points through 6 minutes in the fourth quarter.
He had 4 points going into the quarter of a
Yeah.
do or die game on the road.
Uh,
And he was 1 quarter away from a dangerous rant on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have gotten the boot. It was gonna be a nasty rant on the show.
The point is,
And
though, Cat was on an insane heater, and he decided, you know what, Brunson is still in foul trouble. But normally you'd assume, all right, 5-6 minutes, you bring in your best player, give or take. I mean, you assume you need him for the closing stretch to score. And Tibbs said, you know what, I'm good. And he just sat Brunson. Then eventually brought Brunson in when Indiana was taking free throws with like 97 seconds left, give or take. So I do
Mhm.
appreciate how Tibbs was willing to keep Brunson on the bench for that long, letting the unit that got them there continue in the fourth quarter until it was time to potentially close the deal with Brunson. That's why I'll praise Tibbs. I like how deep he decided to use the bench, just trying to find answers. And the fact is, I also like how long he kept Brunson on the bench and letting Cat, as the number one option, cook in the fourth quarter. That was forced initially, him having to bench Brunson and Ashore Cat in the first place. But as the
Mhm.
fourth quarter went on, I thought he pushed all the right buttons. I thought he waited for the exact moment to push all the right buttons. I think he did a great job with these substitutions in the fourth quarter. I'm aware once again now you're back to where you started, which is Cat and Brunson not being in foul trouble, where you're probably going to play both of them at the same time. And defensively, you might have problems. But I thought Tibbs did a very good job down the stretch of game 3. Do we agree on that?
Mm. I don't wanna say anything nice about him because he might take that and run with it.
Okay. That means yes, but okay. Fair enough.
Uh,
It's a secret compliment.
mhm, I guess. I mean, you could say he did something good, and I could point out a couple of things he didn't like, but, it's Tibbs. You live with what you get, and some days Tibbs remembers he's a coach, other days he just kinda stands there and watch 5 guys run around and play basketball.
Mm,
Um, I hope he decides to coach today. That would be great for the Knicks. I don't have a lot of faith in it. I think again his hand was forced, and I don't think that he does anything that he needs to do that got them the win in Game 3. And yet again, after getting everybody back on their side, the Knicks completely horribly let me down. I like the Pacers here.
okay. And just to ask, is the reason why you just think Indiana's been the better team, or is it just because you think after
No, I think
punting
Tibbs is
away?
incompetent,
Okay. So you think
and
he
I think he's
reverts back?
due.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think Tibbs is incompetent, and because clearly Mitchell Robinson needs to stay in the starting lineup.
Mm,
Cat and Brunson just need to not fucking foul. And then you I think that there should be some type of stagger to Cat and Brunson at some point. Just because both of them on the court defensively is horrible. Whereas at least if they split, I got one person on the court at all times that I know can get me a bucket.
okay.
But he's not going to do that. Why? Because those are his two stars and he's supposed to play them together all the time. Blah blah blah. Who cares? We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. You can play them together in the NBA Finals. When we get to the NBA Finals, you can play them together all you want. But we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's get there. The adjustment is don't play them the whole game at the same time.
I mean, I don't think he's going to end up benching one of the two of them again. I think that it was a great set of circumstances in hindsight from actually, having to make a tough decision, which I don't think he'd ever make in normal situations. So I think that Tibbs did a great job of changing things up because he had to, but he only did so because he had to be
Had to.
clear. I'm not saying
Yes.
Thibodeau suddenly figured out how to coach. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think for what looked like it was going to be an extremely ugly situation in game 3 because they were down 20. You saw Halliburton throw the lob up. Obi catches this one-hander, and you're like, all right, they're up 20 with like 3 to go in the half. This game's over. The series is over. And then the Knicks went on a run to end the third quarter. And then I thought what really changed the game was how bad the Pacers were when Halliburton got pulled at the end of the third quarter. McConnell's been great in this series. He was really bad for about 5 minutes. And that allowed the Knicks to kind of come back in the game. McBride made some shots. Of course, Cat took over the fourth quarter. I do think the Knicks lucked into what turned out to be the lineup they needed to actually win that game. Indiana, though, I think has been better for the majority of the series. And I do think Indiana at home, after punting away game 3, I agree with you. I think that you will end up seeing Indiana show up focused for the entire game here. And I think Indiana wins. I think Indiana covers. I think it's a pretty straightforward win.
Oh,
Knicks
dear
maybe hang
God.
around a little bit personally, or maybe it's like a 5-point game in the fourth quarter at some point. But I do think Indiana will not lose both games at home. I think they'll win this game, and I think they'll go up 3-1. But, I mean, I'm going to ask you, though, if you're the Knicks, because all 3 games have been close. The Knicks have had chances to win these games, so at least you can make the argument the Knicks can find a way to be in it down the stretch. But I trust Indiana more because of coaching and because of late-game execution. I know, once again, the Knicks found a way to win game 3, but it feels like Indiana got taken kind of out of their own game because of a very unique lineup that the Knicks never use. And I don't see that happening again here in game 4. So I agree with you. I think you're going to see Cat and Brunson probably get torched on defense again. Offensively, I think Brunson's isolation style of play might take other guys out of rhythm. I see that being an issue too. I'm with you, though. I'm picking the Pacers to win and cover. I think Indiana wins this game by 7, give or take. But I think the Knicks are going to be within striking distance. I just think they fall short in this game. So give me
Who asked
Indiana
you?
in game 4.
Who asked you?
You did. You did. So, fun fact.
I guess I did. Maybe. It wasn't really me. It was more like a prompt.
Go. Whatever makes you feel better.
Nobody wants to see Tyrese Halliburton in the finals. Nobody. Not even people in Indiana want to see this finals.
I mean, to be honest, I'll push back and say I'd rather see Indiana in the finals than the Knicks, but that's just a personal preference. I just like watching Indiana play basketball. You a fan or you hate
I said, nobody wants to see Indiana play in the finals.
You a fan or do you hate what Carlisle's trying to do in the press conferences? That's so funny, by the way, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, what is he doing?
You know what I'm talking about? Carlisle's had a couple of sound bites in the press conference after game 3, like leading into game 4, where he keeps mentioning like Knicks bench players.
Is Rick Carlisle an Italian American?
That I'm not sure about, but he's trying to use like Jedi mind tricks to get Tibbs to play bad players. He was talking about how, like, Campaign had some good defensive stretches. They didn't use him in game 3.
We haven't seen Achua yet, but he's in the mix.
Achua yet. I'm like, this is just phenomenal content. Look, even if you don't like Carlisle, that's funny stuff. That's really, really funny that he's just throwing out bench players, like, hoping to trick Tibbs into using them. I find that very funny. So I think that's amusing, but yeah.
Hey, he's really trying to get Precious Achua out there.
He really is. It's really funny. I appreciated what he was trying to do there in the press conference, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think Tibbs will fall for that, but who knows? I thought it was funny. But look, either way, for the finals.
Rick Carlisle, I don't want to. Oh, is this a dark joke or is this like? Am I not supposed to say this? But like,
I don't know where this joke's going. But
Rick Carlisle looks on the verge of death.
Is it the baldness or is it how old
I don't know. I don't know. Just I'm looking at the picture of him in this white Pacers t-shirt, and I'm like, this man looks like a man that doesn't have long left.
The argument would be that the series might take a couple of years off his life because the first 3 games.
Because I feel like he didn't look this old. It had to be the series. It had to be the playoffs. I feel like he didn't look this old. Look, I'm looking at another picture, and he clearly doesn't look this old.
I have no idea.
Wow. No.
He's extremely stressed after punting away a 20-point lead in what could have been just the dagger of the entire series. So now he's annoyed because he has to coach another 2 games. You win game 3, maybe the Knicks roll over game 4. Your job's done. You get to take a nap for like a week. And now he's got to keep coaching. It kind of sucks. He has to actually show up for work for a couple days. That's kind of rough.
Campaign.
He shouted out Campaign and Achua by name.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, please put them back out. Because that's what happened. He's saying Campaign get out there in that fourth quarter, and he said, oh, we're going to win the game.
That is so funny. He just shouted out Campaign, hoping to convince Tibbs to actually play him. It's just so funny. But that's a whole separate point. That just made me laugh. But either way, I'm going Indiana. I know you're going Indiana.
Yep.
Total, I think, is very tricky, actually, for this one. I'm going to go under because I think the Knicks' only chance of keeping it close is by making the game as ugly as possible. Now, the counterpoint, of course, is, well, if Brunson and Cat are on the court together, then suddenly you might end up getting a higher scoring game because Indiana's going to pick on at least one of them every possession. But I still think you have to look at what's a slow-paced game for the Knicks because, as you said before, they can't keep pace with Indiana. And if you try to play up tempo with Indiana, you're going to lose. And the Cavs found that out the hard way. So I like the under in this game. I think that Knicks will go out of their way to try to make possessions longer. The real reason why they won is they stopped transition in the second half. They were getting killed in the fast break in the first half. They shut it down in the second half, and that helped them win the game. As ugly as the Knicks offense looked for most of that game, they need the pace to be that slow to have a chance. So I'm on the under in this game. You?
Over, because I'm on the Pacers, and the Pacers are going to control the pace. They're going to get this game going up quicker, and they're going to win, and I'm going to be disappointed.
Okay.
Edge Boost, first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards. 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is going long for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in the game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. We're right now at 70% for game 4 here. 70% bonus you can get for game 4. I've used my bonus already. You should go use yours too. And we'll give out a pick entry at the end of the show. So, NBA, SGPN, claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA, SGPN. All right, let's talk about some player props. You got to dance with the one who brought you. This is going to be the 30-point Brunson game again. The only way that he didn't get a 30-point game was because he was in foul trouble.
Yep.
Over 28.5. Easy. It's probably at 29.5, honestly. Easy. Brunson is walking into 30 again. 15. Last 15 games. Averages 30-plus points against the Pacers here.
Does that mean, including the Brunson 30-plus points, does that mean that you think Cat has an off game, or do you think both of them actually show up for once?
No, both of them could show up and we could still lose. And I think it's going to go over. So now I think actually both of them will show up. And it'll be annoying, but they'll give up the same amount of points that they get. So, yeah. Give me, what's Cat at? 22.5?
Well, I'm going to ask you about Cat, though. Like, do we think that he had a moment of
21.5.
clarity for one quarter, or do we think he might have figured it out?
Cat's always been good in this series to me, honestly. It's just when Cat starts doing the dumb shit and get the fouling and all of that and get off the court. But like, Cat's always been good in this series. This is a team that he plays really, really well against. And that's why I thought the Knicks, I was, prior to the series, a little bit excited for the Knicks. And that's my fault for ever being excited about the Knicks. But I was a little bit excited because I'm like, oh, we got 2 players that can give you 30 any game against this team.
Yeah, to be clear, when you say play well, you mean solely offensively, because he has been a mess defensively this entire series. But,
I mean,
yeah.
And because of that, Miles Turner over 15.5 points. Because he's getting wide open shots the entire series.
Honestly, if I'm the Knicks, I'd kind of want to live with him taking somewhat open shots. I thought Turner lost in the game when he took that contested 3-pointer with like.
Oh yeah, that was but that was like the worst shot he's gotten all series.
It was, but the point is Turner still has this confidence where he's like, I'm an absolute knockdown shooter,
okay.
and I'm like, no, you're not, but you think you are.
He does. That's funny. Okay, I agree with that. He does think he's a knockdown shooter now because it's just because he's been getting wide open looks the whole series.
I imagine Miles Turner's entire offensive, basically mindset is the Paul George commercial, like the ball game commercial. But that's how Miles Turner plays every 48 minutes out of the game. Ball game. That's him every single shot. Just gonna jack up as many 3-pointers as possible.
Hey, Paul George has never said that in real life.
Never did. I mean, that still brings up, I think, one of the funniest Jeff Teague stories with Miles on his team, who just shows him the. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, which one?
When Miles.
When he said, when Paul George said, "Hey, I need that last shot. I need that last shot."
I think that's one of the funniest stories that he has. But
It was like, so for those who don't know, it was when Jetty was playing with Paul George on the Pacers. And it was one game Jetty was talking about where he got the ball at the end of the game and he took the last shot. And Paul George was like in the locker room after T had missed it. He was like, nah,
Well,
bro.
to backtrack, Miles took the final shot in one of the earlier games in that series, and he missed it.
Yeah.
And Paul George in the press conference said, "Listen, I'm the star player. I got to take the shot." So fast forward like 2 games later, he shoots the ball over the rim, and they lose the game. And then that sets up the story that we're talking
And then
about.
Jetty hops in and is like, and he shows them the clip and he's like, ball game.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just a miss. But that's how Turner feels. He made the big shot, though, in game 2, I believe, to ice
That
the
was
game. But
who was that?
what?
You said what? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying Turner made a big shot in one of these games, but besides that, I just don't trust him to ever hit the big shot when needed. But the point is, I don't really trust Turner's points because the shot selection is just so 3-point dependent for no reason. Guy's 7 feet tall and he's never in the lane, which makes no sense to me. But I'm gonna go Josh Hart rebounds in this game. It's at 8.5. It's actually plus money. He came off the bench last game, which didn't really matter because he played 34 minutes anyway, and he had 10 rebounds. He was good. And he had the big rebound to ice the game at the end. So I like the fact that Hart, no matter if he starts or comes off the bench, has energy. He'll play well. And I do think that his rebounds are low. They auto-corrected his rebounds, even though he's still playing 35 minutes. So his minutes, I don't think, got changed that much. I like the rebounds here for Hart. So give me Josh Hart over 8.5 rebounds.
Did you know CJ Miles was in the G League in 2022?
That wouldn't shock me, but I didn't know that. Like, Kenneth Farid's been in the G League for a while.
2022?
Yeah.
Do you know CJ Miles was playing when we were in like
Yeah.
elementary school?
He's been around for a long time, but I feel like when you're looking at a lot of these veteran guys who kind of fell off the face of the earth, all they know how to do is ball. So they're just going to play basketball no matter what. And they decide, you know what?
Yo, listen to this career arc.
They didn't want to go overseas. So they hung around the G League.
2005 to 2012 with the Utah Jazz, from 12 to 14 with the Cavs, from 14 to 17 with the Pacers, from 17 to 19 with the Raptors, from 19 with the Grizzlies, 19 to 20 with the Wizards, 21 with the G League Ignite. He was on the Boston Celtics 2021 team, and then he played in the G League in 2022 for the G League Ignite. Like, wait, what?
I would have assumed he retired by now, but the fact that he's in the G League, I can't say totally surprised.
I mean, it was 2022, so like now that's 3 years ago. But like CJ Miles was still playing basketball 3 years ago.
No, but I think Kenneth Farid is still in the G League. Like, there are some veterans that are like, I didn't know he was still around and he's still playing. But
no, is he really?
I know he was last year. I'm not sure if he still is, but yeah, Farid was playing G League basketball for a while. That's a thing.
Wait. I'm gonna figure this out. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right, let's see. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He's been around for a long time.
So he was playing for the Austin Spurs in 2022. Since then, he's been playing overseas, but he's still playing overseas. He actually plays for a team right now called Una Hotels Reggio Emilia.
Okay.
And this team is an Italian professional basketball team.
That's a good deal for him. He gets to live in Italy.
Yeah. Wow.
Sounds nice.
Holy crap, Kenneth Farid. You've been playing. I mean, it's not as long as CJ
And he made a lot of money too when he was around. He just loves the ball.
Yeah, he's been 35. He's been playing for a minute.
Yeah.
Get this guy back in the league, man.
But I'll ask you, going back to player props. I mentioned Hart. I'm assuming you're back on McConnell because why would you not be? He kills this team every time. I don't know if he's missed a mid-range jumper against the Knicks in about 3 years. So I don't mind his PRA again. PA I think's fine too. I'll ask you though, if Nesmith ends up missing this game, how big of a deal is it?
Because, dude, they're screwed.
You think they're fully screwed if he doesn't play?
I don't think they're fully screwed, but like, you know, when a team is playing so well, and it's like, okay, you can lose one of your stars and you can trust everybody else to kind of fill that gap.
Yeah.
But when you lose that crucial role player, oh, that's gonna suck. That's gonna, like, I think he's one of those role players that's like, you're not gonna realize till he's gone, but it's like, man, it's kind of hard to replace him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do have a little bit of confusion though because he got injured and they're like carrying him off the court. And you're like, all right, well, he's probably like done. He's probably not a good sign. And I don't want to compare it to like the Brunson injury against the Pistons, but he just came back like 5 minutes later or so in the fourth quarter, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm just going to be running around at 20 miles an hour." I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" I thought
Yeah,
he looked fine when he came back. He missed a floater towards the end of the game, but that's not his game anyway. I don't know. Maybe it was the drugs they gave him in the locker room, but I thought
gave him a little shot.
I
That's
thought
it.
Neesmith came back and I thought he actually looked fine. So we'll see what happens, but I'm assuming that they're going to drug him up before the game if they need him to
It looked
play.
like they
But
gave him a rush of adrenaline.
something, but I thought he looked fine when he came back in. But either way, he's definitely a massive piece for this team, which is why I brought it up. Because if he ends up missing this game, you're going to be using, I don't know, like Ben Shepherd, I guess, as your backup option. Like, it's
Yeah,
not ideal, but that's probably what you have. You don't have much.
yeah.
So, wanted to mention that too. Because Neesmith, in theory, has a chance to not play. I think he's going to play,
Hmm.
but I thought he actually looked surprisingly good in the fourth quarter after the injury. So, we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, they definitely gave him a little shot in the back. He's good to go. Mitchell Robinson over 8.5 rebounds, Scott.
I tried that last game and he ended up
I
with
know.
6.
I was the one that threw it out there and it didn't work. But guess what? I'm running it right back.
Okay.
If it don't work this time, I promise I'm done. But like I'm running back.
I know last game I ended up winning the lock. I had Halliburton under his 20.5 points. Damn, that wasn't easy. Finished with
Nope.
20. But I wonder if I should run that back or not. Because, like, there is a path where Halliburton once again goes pass first, gets his teammates involved. He never
Mhm.
really looks for his own shot, which definitely sets up opportunities for, once again, him to go over that point total. But, I mean, to not go over the point total. But I don't know. Because it was very close and he couldn't hit a jump shot. So that's why it's kind of tricky. You have any thoughts on the Halliburton? I just think that 20.5 is high for him, but it was close, and it definitely wasn't
Shoot, it's
easy.
at 21.5 now.
Yeah,
I mean, I would.
it's under a pass for me. I can't take the over on that. The
I
number's
think
too
they
high
could
for
keep.
Halliburton.
I think the Knicks are gonna key in on him, and they're like, all right, like he can continue to pass. We're gonna make somebody else beat us,
Mm.
and I'll probably be T.J. McConnell. I agree with you on T.J. McConnell. Uh,
Well, that's probably the pivot, by the way. If Neesmith ends up being injured and he can't play, they're probably just going 2 point guard lineup.
yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen. You're probably going to see more
Because
McConnell
they're
in
gonna
this
need
game.
McConnell to try to slow down Brunson. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be the same thing where they throw some Nemhard, some McConnell, some Ben Shepherd. If Neesmith doesn't play, like they're just gonna continue to throw different looks at him. But like Brunson scored on every single one of those guys. So
Yeah,
like,
Brunson should have a solid game no matter what, because
yeah,
Indiana hasn't guarded him the entire series. So I think that's the option. You go for a Brunson monster game. I don't
I
mind
have to
Brunson
try
the
to
leading
find
scorer.
another lock because I took Brunson on my other show, so I can't lock him up here. But like, that's how confident I am. Jalen Brunson has a good game.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Anything else?
Not really. I feel like if you're going to go with other guys, maybe Siakam has himself a solid game if they play through him instead. I don't know. I don't know how great I feel about it, but I mean, you have. I'll
I
mention.
like the RA play for Josh Hart.
Okay, I can get behind that.
I like what you said, and I like Josh Hart coming off the bench. Honestly, I thought they were doing this all season when the season started.
Mm,
Because I was concerned. I'm like, well, dang, like you get rid of Dante, who's gonna be that person for you off the bench? And like they just decided to make that guy Deuce. But like I was like, man, I feel like Josh Hart would be really, really good off the bench. Like he'll be able to run the offense, get Deuce some more looks. Like it'll be more fluid, and then he's aggressive when he needs to be. Like I like Josh Hart coming off the bench. I thought Josh Hart was going to have a better game off the bench than he did starting, and so I like Josh Hart here again on his plays.
yeah, I'll throw in one other guy. Give me McBride over 7.5 points. He's had at least 9 and 4 the last 5. He's actually had at least 8 points in 9 of the last 11 games against Indiana. He's
Okay.
been good against this team. I'll go with McBride over his points as well. He was the reason why I thought you won the game because he was able to showcase some type of energy with Brunson being out that kind of became contagious for the rest of the team. I think he's very important to this team in this series. I like McBride's defense. He can shoot. I like his points at 7.5.
Gosh, I think that our listeners just deserve to see me live streaming at the Knicks championship parade, and it's never gonna happen. Rhythm. Make sure you head over there to Rhythm. They have really, really cool deals for you. You can tap in with the NBA playoffs, PGA, MLB, WNBA, all of that. 7-day free trial over there at rhythmsportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. They also have a 25% off monthly subscription, promo code SGPN25, and a 50% off annual subscription, promo code SGPN50. Head over there to Rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM, and you can have a chance to use one of those promo codes as well, SGPN25 or SGPN50, and get you some nice deals and a 7-day free trial over there at Rhythm. Whole bunch of picks, all of that for free. Just get over there, get that 7-day free trial, and you can get them for free with Rhythm. All right. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-team league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their entire stay. The winners will receive a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for the entire league. They will hold their draft at a cabana and Stadium Swim. And I'm telling y'all, Stadium Swim is so dope if you haven't been. $5,000 food and beverage credit, limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at Legacy Club for the league, a reservation at the world's largest sports book with a $500 beverage credit, and a 2-hour open bar package at Overhang Bar if you're not drunk enough already. And I'm telling you, CEO Derek Stevens is for sure going to drop by at some point. There's no way you're doing all of that, and CEO Derek Stevens isn't dropping by. And he's a really cool dude. Get to know him. So go try to win that contest June 30th. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. For the true DJs, MyBookie is the money bag. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using cryptocurrency. I mean, it's so fast, it'll be there before you even know it. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, and for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, Scott, let's close things out. Underdog. Lock. Pacers -2.5.
Okay.
Dog. Where's the great white hope at? What's his alt set?
Is that PRA? Or you mean...
Should I add the R or should I just do PA?
I think I would do the PA at 11.5, but of course you can bump that up to probably like 12 or 13.5.
All right, we'll do the PA again. 15. So, actually, I might want the RA because the 2 rebounds he gets might actually help me. Let me see what the number is there. 15. Oh, that's up to 20. Okay, just give me the PA. PA 15 plus 165. TJ McConnell.
All right. Just in case you didn't know, we were talking about TJ McConnell this entire time. So just in case you didn't realize that.
I mean, is there another white guy in this game? Well, I mean, Halliburton's 50%.
Is Kolek on the bench?
I don't even think he's
one of the only guys that Tibbs didn't try.
I don't even think he's in there. I don't even think he's in Indiana. Wow.
He might not be, but that's another white guy.
I would have preferred him over Campaign. Does he have a street name? He could definitely have a street name over Campaign. I need to go back and check. I need to go back and check and see if he has a street name.
I don't know if he's on the active roster, but I know he was for part of the season, so I mentioned him. I'm assuming he's there somewhere, but who knows? So for my lock, I think I'm just going to go with, I'll go for an alt number instead on that. I'm going to go Nesmith under his points as my lock. I know that he's playing through an ankle issue. I know that he's also been solid at shooting so far. Only made 1 3-pointer last game. 11.5 feels pretty high for me when I just question how healthy you actually are. I think the Knicks will do a good job at least trying to maybe, because of PTSD reasons, limit him from going crazy. But he only played 26 minutes last game, played 32 the game before that. He had a monster heater in game 1. But I do think the ankle injury, I like to fade injured players. So I'll go with the under on Nesmith. If the ankle acts up again, maybe they sit him. Who knows? It's a possibility too. Maybe he re-aggravates it. Who knows? But I'll go with Neesmith under on his points at 11.5. I think the line's a bit high. At -110 is my lock. For my dog, I'm going to go with Josh Hart, alt rebounds. I was going to take the 8.5 rebounds, decided not to because I can get 9.5 rebounds instead. 9.5 rebounds plus 150. He had 10 last game. He's had at least 10 in 3 of the last 4 games. He's had at least 10 rebounds in 5 of the last 6 games against Indiana. I like the matchup a lot for Hart. I'll go with the alt rebounds there. Give me Josh Hart over 9.5 rebounds at plus 150 as my dog.
All right. Underdog. Brunson.
Yeah.
Higher 29.5. McConnell?
I'm fine with that.
Deuce?
We can go Deuce at 7.5.
Deuce, higher 7.5.
A reminder, he only played 15 minutes last game because he was also in foul trouble. So he might play more.
Yeah. Okay, Deuce, higher 7.5. And yeah, I guess McConnell, huh?
Yeah, that's fine.
11.5 PA?
Sure.
All right. That was easy. Deuce McBride, higher 11.5 P. What are you doing? Am I tripping?
What?
There we go. It glitched on me for a second.
Do you have
All right.
do you have your boost for the
So I did use the 70% boost on WNBA last night. Again, me not thinking about the fact that I had multiple shows to do. I just went ahead and used it on WNBA. But it's also because they didn't flash a 40% boost in my face last night, and now they're flashing a 40% boost in my face. If I knew I had the 40%, I would have saved the 70% for this and then used it. But it's okay. I have a 40% boost. Still boosted. Deuce McBride higher 7.5 points. Jalen Brunson higher 29.5 points. And TJ McConnell higher 11.5 points and assists. Regularly, that's 6x over there, Underdog Fantasy. But if you use your 40% boost like me, that will be 8x over there, Underdog Fantasy. $100 can get you either $600 or it can get you $800, or it can get you more than that if you use your 70% off boost over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBASGP. And Scott, anything else for the people before we get up out of here?
Not really. Once again, looking forward to Game 4. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, once again, we get a competitive series out of it. Because OKC's series might be done in 5. So hopefully, once again, we get at least one competitive series, and we'll go from there. But yeah, overall, looking forward to it. This has been a fun series so far. I know that your team's been on the wrong side of a couple of games, but it's been a competitive series so far. Every game's been close, so I appreciate it.
Scott, have you ever filled out? I'm sorry. Before we get out of here, because I really, really have to take a shit. But have you ever filled out one of those like timeshare cards in like a mall, like at a whatever, like they're giving away vacation, like you're at the restaurant or whatever, and they say, "Hey, fill out this card, drop it in the box, and then you'll get picked to like win the vacation or whatever." Have you ever won one of those?
I don't know if anyone's ever won one of those.
Well, they're texting me talking about I won, and I think this is fake. But they sent the picture of the card with my handwriting.
Did you enter one of those giveaways?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I was walking in the outlets, and I saw it sitting there for a free Bahamas trip, and I just wrote the little card, dropped it in there.
All right, see what happens.
I'm going to have to do some research here. They might be trying to take me out, Scott. What? Who wins these? I never see anybody win these.
I always assumed that it was like a Twitter giveaway from one of the random cloud chasers where they give a giveaway and then they never actually announce a winner.
Yeah.
Because the giveaway is fake. They just do it for
Yeah.
clout.
Yeah.
I always assumed it was that way.
But like this is a scanned version of what I wrote.
Okay. Reach out, see what happens.
All right, we'll see.
But remember, if they ask for your social security number, don't give it to them.
Okay, all right, Roger. Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go.
Appreciate the chat also is very into this story now.
Just don't put down any credit card information and don't put down your social security card and just see what happens.
All right, will do. Will do. Appreciate the advice, Scott. All right, he's at Reichel Radio. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA on X as well. With that being said, I really have no faith in the Knicks tonight, but if they win, I'm going to be happy. With that, that's it. Nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcast. Just going to do like this. We are out of here.